known as the Henry Higgins of Hollywood. He's coached over 2,000 actors, many of whom have won Oscars, Emmys, Golden Globes, and Cannes Film Festival Awards. Mr. Easton currently is starring in his 74th film, and he has been kind enough to suspend filming today to be at this event. And to top it off, Mr. Easton, as you know by now, is the great-great-grandson of St. Louis's first postmaster, Rufus Easton. Please join me in welcoming Robert Easton.
Thank you, Johnny. And I am old, but I didn't realize until today that I was one of Rufus Easton's ancestors. He died in 1834, so if I was one of his ancestors, I'm even older than I thought. I am very, very pleased and grateful that so many of you showed up. Very distinguished guests, Postmaster Anderson. Let's talk about Rufus Easton. When I was a tiny child, and I was in that stage they call, rugrats, carpet crawlers, ankle biters, I noticed we had some huge big oil paintings on the wall. And I would ask, who is that? And they would say, that's your great-great-grandfather, Rufus Easton. And I'd say, who's that? They said, that's your great-grandmother, Jane Charlotte Smith Easton. And I said, who was that? They said, that's her father. That was Senator Nathan Smith from Connecticut. So both of my great-great-grandfathers served in the Congress at a time, gang, when that was actually considered an honorable profession. Can you believe that? That's a long time ago. Now, as has been said, Rufus Easton came out here in 1804, 200 years ago, and he was sent by Thomas Jefferson. You know he was the first postmaster. It's already been alluded to that he was a federal judge with an enormously large jurisdiction. Went all the way up to Canada, went down to Arkansas. In 1816, he was territorial delegate from Missouri Territory to Congress. And how many of you remember the New Madrid earthquake? How many of you remember that? Yes, I'm old enough, I remember that. But Rufus pioneered federal disaster relief because a lot of people in the Boot Heel particularly lost everything. He got them new land in the West. And then some of you may know he was the Attorney General of Missouri. And the capital at that time was in, you ready for this, gang? St. Charles, where his eldest daughter, Mary, had married Major Sibley. Her husband, George Sibley, was one of the 3 men entrusted by the government to survey the Santa Fe Trail, which he did. And I don't think it will surprise any of you, the federal government being what it is, it took him years and years to collect his money. Does that surprise you? In fact, I'm going to get after him because I think they still owe him a little bit. And then Rufus had 7 beautiful daughters who all married very, very well. He had 4 sons. The eldest son has been alluded to, Alton Easton. And then he had another son, Langdon Chevis Easton, who served in the Mexican War. And he was brevetted Major General in the Civil War. And then the son that I'm descended from, Joseph George Easton, who lived in Palmyra and lived in Hannibal. And he, and I'm sure Bruce, when he talks about the family, will go into this because Bruce is going to talk about Rufus's early interest in civil rights and racial equality, for which he was well known and made a lot of enemies, that the Easton family was either directly related to or through intermarriage was related to the governors, senators, representatives of this country, which is why I love the history of this country, because it's really the history of my family. And I take great pride in that. And we'll talk a whole lot more, but you're getting tired, and I'm getting tired. There's going to be wonderful things going on this afternoon, so many thanks to all of you for having shown up. God bless all of you.